Okay, so at the end of the previous video, we talked about how we add the data file to the analysis workspace. What we're now going to go through is how we can simply analyze the data in terms of normalizing against the MVC. So along the left-hand side, if we open up the data file, you'll notice that we've got our MVC data and the generic data collection period in which time we performed some bicep curls. What I'm going to do is open up this bottom file. You'll notice then that we've got EMG and also our three-dimensional accelerometry data. If, for example, we want to have a look at the raw data, if I double-click on the EMG, then this would replicate the kind of information and the display that we had in the previous software. Now, to go through and perform some further analysis, we need to select the EMG tab on the side and then go up to Calculation Scripts. Now, these are all of our options in terms of analysis. Again, far beyond the scope of this video. So I'm going to go for the most common approach, and that would be to perform an amplitude analysis. So just to draw your attention to, first of all, we need to tick the normalized data option. And within the normalizing series, this is where we select the MVC that we performed prior to the data collection. So if I click on this little icon, find our MVC file, and select that one. So as we discussed previously, the MVC is essentially taken as a 100% contraction. So the amplitude that was recorded during the bicep curls will now be expressed as a percentage of that. So I'm happy with the setup and click OK. So we now have the bicep curl data expressed as a percentage. In this instance, this might indicate that within rep 2, for example, we're going above 100%. So the MVC procedure could be improved perhaps, but it's also worth just pointing out that you shouldn't get too hung up on the percentage. It's just a way of us converting the data and making it relative to the individual. So from here, we need to think about how we're going to export the data and how we can perform some further analysis. So what we need to do is click on the amplitude analysis output, go up to Tools and Export to Excel. So this opens up an Excel file down the bottom for us, and essentially what we have is a time column and an amplitude column in percentage. Now if we wanted to replicate the graph that we can see within the software, then simply highlight the column. So a quick tip on this one, Control Shift down from the initial cell, and then if we go Insert and Line. So this now presents us with something that's very similar to what we've got in the software itself. Now lots of different options again in terms of what we could do here. We could look at the peaks within each contraction. We could look at the time frame of the contraction, but essentially that's down to you and the application of your study. I hope this helps. Thanks for listening.